Good afternoon, everybody. Right, I think the lighting's going to be shocking for this, but anyway, I was asked by one of my subbies to show how I sew my little bags, which is like this. Okay, as you can see, I started using some of that scrap fabric I did. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all over YouTube how to do these, but I will show you my way. Okay, so I've recently adapted this way of making these little tab ends on the zip, basically. Okay, I don't know if you can actually see these little bits here, because it stops you having that weird end that you get when you put a zip in a bag, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really restrict you using it. So yeah, so I'll show you this method and some of the cheats that I've found, but yeah, anyway, I never used to like putting in zips, I'll be perfectly honest with you, and for years I did drawstring bags, but yeah, I've now changed that. So so I've got all my bits of fabric ready, she says, and I'm missing a bit already. Right, I'll go and find that. So for you need two pieces for your lining, the same size as your piece that you've cut for your bag, except mine are going to have a bit on the top, basically, because I want a plain edge, well, plainish edge anyway. I'll show you it all in a second. Yeah, so you need two bits of lining. You need your front, your back. I say I'm putting these additional bits on. You don't need those. They're just to make the bag a little bit taller. And then for the tabs that we're going to put on the end of the zip, you need coordinating, contrasting, doesn't really matter, but you just need a piece of fabric which is about 1 inch deep, or 2 inches obviously, because you're going to be making a front and a back, and I'll show you what I do with those. So I'm going to pause you for a second because I need to move you down to the ironing table. We'll get these little tabs ready, because this used to be the bit that I got stuck on, so I want to show you I found a way around it. So hold tight. Right, I think you can see what I'm doing. I'll put the ring light on now. So I've got my little iron here. This way, Susan. Right. Okay, so the little thing that I found, which is helping me no end, is this stuff. And it's called fusible bias tape. Okay. And I'm trying to get the line off, the light off of it. Got it on Amazon. I can't remember how much it was. Don't think it was terribly expensive, but basically all it is really narrow double-sided sticky stuff. I don't know if you can see that, it's very faint. Okay, yeah, so what you need to do before you put these tabs on your zip is fold over a neatened edge, if you like. Am I in screen? I can't blooming see. Yeah, right. And that's the bit where I used to go wrong. So, as I say, having found this tape, whoops, yeah, to me, it's saving me a lot of hassle. And for some reason, it's decided to come off its backing paper, but that's okay. We can make it behave itself. So, just lay it right on the edge of your fabric. It's not going to play nicely, is it? Why are you doing that, I wonder? Okay, let's try this bit. Why does it always go wrong? Put the camera on, it goes wrong. Turn the camera off, everything's fine. Right, okay, so I'm just going to cut a piece of this to about the width there. And the reason I have found this cheat is because every other video that I've seen, it tells you to take it to the sewing machine and stitch this folded edge over. My sewing machine kept eating it and I was getting more and more frustrated with it. So this, as I say, to me has been a game changer, and I don't mind doing them like this now. I don't know why this tape's doing this. It hasn't done it all day. Right, it's normally a lot quicker than this. Oh, what a faff. Sorry, if it was behaving itself, it wouldn't be a problem. Okay, well, what I'll do is, right, the stuff's on there. I'm just going to turn this over and seal that one down, because the tape is misbehaving. What you don't want to do is get it on your iron. Not going to push my luck with that bit. So what you would normally do is just peel off the tape. She says, honestly, as soon as you turn the camera on, boom, it all goes belly up. Right, you peel the tape off. I don't think, get off. It's got a little sticky bit here now. This is going to be a car crash, this video. Oh well. Right, so you just fold it over to what would be the edge of your sticky bit, iron it down. Oh dear. Right, so now you've got two really nice neat edges, and I'll show you what to do with them on the zip. I just need to do the other one, so bear with me. Just need to get that folded in half. This looks like a faff, but honestly it normally goes really well, she says. Get it right on the edge. I'm not going to snip it because I think that's what's making it come off. And then snip. And same with the other end. Yeah, it's a game changer, that stuff. I'll tell you what it is good for. I want to do some stained glass patchwork, and I was looking at how much the pre-done bias tape is to do that. This is just, that's why, and it's really expensive, and I'm hoping that this is going to do exactly the same thing. So I've got tons of bias tape, but none of it is self-adhesive. There's meters on here. I can't remember how much it is. 20 meters. I'm going to sort that out. It's misbehaving in there. Right, so just peel the tape off. Are you stuck this time? Yeah, well done. It's very static. I know this looks a faff, but seriously, it's not. I usually do it in like 2 seconds, but yeah, you know what it's like. YouTube land messes up cameras and all sorts of things. At least I'm not the only one. There's quite a few people been having issues with their cameras, so I feel like I'm in a good club. Right, and let's just iron that in half. Now you'll see the reason for these in a moment. If you've got a sewing machine that wants to behave itself, then just stitch them down. Don't bother with the sticky tape, but mine, it just won't have it. Anyway, that's that. I'll leave the iron on for a minute because we're going to stitch the zip in now. So I'll pause you, get you set up over the table, and then we'll stitch the zip in. Won't be a minute. Right, I think that's about the best position I can get you in. Okay, so let me I've stitched on my top piece. I didn't want to confuse you with that. That's just me adding a bit of fabric on top of all these scraps. Okay, so this would be the size of your bag. So the idea of these zips is goodness me. So if you look at the size of the zip there, let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. Hold tight. Oh, sorry, hold tight. Let's see how that is. So as you can probably see, my zip is taking up the whole of my top of my bag. Let's move out there. There we are. All right, so you can see it's taking up the whole width of the bag. All right, now the idea with these tabs is that you put them on either end, but they need to be inside the seam allowance. Now, I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Let me see if I can draw it. I need to go around the machine. So what I'm going to do is reduce the length of the zip so that when this tab is on the end of the zip, it will be, let's just sort of guesstimate, that's roughly my seam allowance there. You can see that black mark. I can't get you any closer, I don't think, hold tight. Right, can you see that black mark there? That is roughly what my seam allowance would be. Okay, so this little tab, when it's on the zip, needs to be inside that, because the idea is that they are free to move. And let me just grab the other one again. So let me show you on here. Okay, so it's not caught in the seam, it is free to move. All right, so it's not in the sides. Oh, sorry, it's not in the side seam. Okay, it's separate, and that stops you having those weird corners on your bags. That's the reason we do it. You don't have to do it this way. You can stitch the zip straight in, doesn't matter, it's completely up to you. But I have now adopted this way to do it because I like it. So what I'm going to do is chop my zip very close to the metal bar, because having done the other one, I know that's roughly where I need to be. And then this is so awkward to show, I'm sorry, I'm making a right pig's ear out of this. And then put your tab over the end, and you need to go, why as soon as the camera goes on do you act like a pleb? Right, so you need to put your zip straight inside your little tab and fold it over. Now, as I say, all the videos I've seen, it says, oh, do that and then stitch there. Yeah, my machine eats it at that point. So I'm just going to stitch that one on, which hopefully you'll be able to see. Ish, yeah, I think you are. Now, it does help having a thread bunny, because that just takes it straight in. Right. About 5/8 of an inch. This is a nylon zip, so I can stitch straight over this one. Alright, at that point my machine used to eat it, and this is why having found that tape for me has been a godsend. Right, okay, so let's go back to our bag. Here's our mark here for roughly where our seam allowance is going to be. I judge mine by the edge of my foot. God, I'm bang on, yeah. So I use the edge of my zipper, my sewing foot, to do my seams. If you use 3/4 of an inch, then that mark needs to come in 3/4 of an inch. All right, so if I line that up there, okay, so I know that needs to go about there ish. All right, there's no rocket science to this. But as you can see, my zip, this end of the zip is over. So again, just guesstimating, that is going to be roughly where my stitching is going to come. This is a heat erasable, this pen, so don't worry. All right, so you can see I need to bring that in quite a bit. And if I haven't lost the other end, which very conveniently I have. Keep all your bits together, guys. Is it under there? Ah, there it is. Right. Okay, so again, all right, there's my mark. That is going to be where my seam allowance is. So I need to chop these back quite a bit, I think. So I'm going to come. Let's do it. I'll just do it to the end first, where the metal bits are. Watch your scissors on the metal bits, okay? It will destroy your scissors. Right, so let's try it. I say this seems a faff, but I'm doing it slowly. So again, just put your zip ends, kind of pinch them together until you've got them in, because they want to fly apart. Okay, into there, down. I'm just going to get a wonder clip thingy. Right, hold that. I just want to check the length first of all before I stitch that on. So again, it's got to come inside that seam allowance, and yeah, that's going to fall just right, as you can see. All right, it's just going to be inside that seam allowance, which is exactly what we want. All right, let me just stitch that one. Once you've got these on and your zip to the right length, it's a doddle now. And of course, my foot doesn't want to go down because that's in the way. Don't worry about having raw ends here. Okay, this is going to get caught in the seams when we put the zip in. Right, so that's what it should look like. Right, it looks a bit odd, but it goes on. Once it's on, it's fine. All right, and it's going to fit in beautifully within my two side seams. Okay, so you just need to remember to get those inside your side seam, whatever your side seam allowance is. I say I just use the width of my foot here. Okay, so that's the zip ready. So again, there is two ways of doing this. You can do it the long way, or you can do it the fast way, which is what I like to do. So with your zip facing the right side up, get your outer fabric and put it over the top. All right, now we're going to have to fiddle around because we need to make sure that our zip is central and to the top there. Okay, we're going to line it up with the top of our bag. I'll come up a little bit, won't I? Right. Okay, so it needs to go even either side, gap wise, which it isn't quite, but it is now. All right, and then the actual zip needs to line up with the top of your bag. All right. Okay, so let's just put some clips on just to hold it. So I'm just going to get that up there. And up there. This is why I said don't worry about the raw edges. Okay, they're about to be caught into this seam here. All right, so you should have something like that. So it's the bottom of your zip, but the top of your, because what we're going to do is stitch that on and it will come the right way. All right, but to speed things up, this is my lining piece. I'm just going to check I've got it the right way around before yeah. So I'm going to stitch my lining at the same time. All right, so it's just a case of on the opposite side to where you've just clipped all the rest of it, put your lining piece. But again, it needs to line up with the zip. I know you're going to let me know if I'm not making any sense whatsoever here, and if I'm making this look like hard work, but seriously, it's a doddle. Once you've got it in your head what you're trying to do, it goes really quickly. Just making sure that zips to the top there. Okay, so effectively you've got your lining, your zip, and your outer fabric, and the zip is facing your outer fabric. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to swap my foot on my sewing machine for my zipper foot, which has disappeared. There it is. Right, the thing you have to watch out for is where your zipper pull is. Mine's right down the other end, so that's fine. Okay, and just feeling where the okay, just going to come over a little bit. Just want it to, I don't know if you're even seeing this. Ooh, sorry, hold tight. I'm just feeling for where the teeth of the zipper is, and I just want to make sure we're lined up-ish. So if I just come back here, take your time, stop your machine, remove your clips, check you're online, or inline I should say. Oh, come on, don't faff. Thank you. Slow your machine down. You know, you don't have to do this fast. Take your time and just think about making sure you've got everything in the right places and what have you. So. My top fabric is creeping. I don't know why, but it is. I haven't got my walking foot on. Right, I've got the top of my zip here. So I'm just going to put the needle down, lift up the fabric, hopefully move that zip head past. Okay, it's well out of the way. I've just jumped off track there. Get back on track. Put the stitch right to the end now. Right over the little tab thing, up to the side seam. Okay, if your fabric does a walkies like mine's just done here, don't worry. All right, we can sort that out at the end. But so what we've done now is, let me just re-zip it. We've now got, hold tight. Okay, we've now got our front of our bag. We've got our zip pointing the right way. Okay, because that's where we want it. And then we've got our lining again pointing the right way. If your lining's got a front and a back, you need to have, when you sew it like this, you need to have right sides together. Okay. All right. So you do that. You remove a weird piece of thread that's just come from nowhere. Right, okay, I'm just going to give it a quick iron. I'm not going to take you to the iron because you'll be swinging backwards and forwards like crazy people, so I don't want to do that to you. So I'm just going to iron that back. Just so that it all sits nicely. Gave it a quick press, so it's all away now. It's all nice and organised. Right, I'm just going to do a quick top stitch along there before I do the other side. If I don't do it now, I forget, you see, and then it's pants. In the right position, yeah, looks like it. You haven't got to worry about your zip head at this point. Just watch that you're following the edge of your fabric, try and keep it as straight as possible. Just want to move my lining down a little bit. Just poking out there. We don't want that. Alright, and then we're top stitched. Okay, that does make a big difference to your zip. It also keeps the fabric away from your teeth of your zip. Okay, so that's the first side done. So it's just rinse and repeat now. So we've got our zip right side up. So now it's easy to remember because we need our top fabrics right sides together. Again, line it up with the top of the zip and the edge of your other piece here. Okay, just line everything up now. I'm going to grab my lining piece at the same time. I've got no right or wrong side on that. It's just a plain cotton. So I'm just going to line everything up, get a clip. Okay, I just tend to flop them together like that. So you should have your lining touching your lining, and then your outer fabric touching your outer fabric, if you're doing it right. I hope this is making sense, guys. I really do. It's really hard. You sit and do it and you just don't even think, really. It's just automatic. You just kind of just do it. So to sort of sit and break it all down is quite difficult. So again, I'm just going to stitch along here. I'm going to move, I can feel the zipper head right here. So I'm going to move that down out of the way before I start stitching, because otherwise it's a pain in the you-know-what. So I'm just going to need a clip in the middle there, just to hold everything together. If you haven't got the clips, use pins. If you haven't got pins, get some. I would. What else could you use? If you've got the bulldog clips, you know, the little bulldog clips for papers and that, you could use those. You haven't got to use these wonder clips. They are good, mind, I must admit. For some reason we've gone a bit wonky donkey here. What is happening? Okay, good enough. Right, so just back under the sewing machine. I need to move my foot back over to the other side. Okay, again I'm just feeling for where my zip is. It's usually roughly on the edge of the small bit. Oh, I don't even know what that bit's called. Yeah, see, it's eating it. Stop eating it. Should have put my I started using thread bunnies, leaders and enders. I forgot to do it on there. I just want to make sure I'm on line here. Looks like it. Just going to slow down a little bit. Don't want to race this bit, because it really shows if you put your zip in bad, which hopefully this one won't be. Might be, because the camera's on. It's just the way it is. Right, just going to fiddle around here, just to get that zip straight. Oh, that's, right, needle in. Let's move that zip head out of the way. So we can just go straight to the end now. If you buy your zips, well, you can't do it with this method actually, but yeah, no, I won't even say that, because normally I have bigger zips that I haven't got to worry about the top bit. But yeah, you can't use that for this method. You have got to have your zip the right size. You just cut it to the right size. You haven't got to. Cut those off if you want to. It's up to you. I'll do it just for the sake of it. Right, okay. I'm going to iron it, top stitch it, and then we're at the stage of putting it all together. So it goes quite quickly now. You'll have to let me know in the comments if I'm not making any sense at all. As I say, it's quite hard when you make lots of bags like I do to stop, think and break it down for somebody who doesn't make lots of bags is quite difficult. Right, I'll turn the iron off now. He said oven. Okay, I'm just going to top stitch and then we can crack on and get this baby put to bed. I'm going to start this end, I think. Again, I'm just lining the edge of my foot here with the edge of my seam, if you like, so that hopefully it'll go nice and straight. Just keep your eye on this edge here. Don't worry about what anything else is doing at the moment. You just want to try and get this as straight as possible. Shouldn't interfere that the head of the zip's there. Let's move it out of the way anyway, just in case. Just going to lift that up. Might hit it actually, it's coming a bit close, this one. Just move it out of the way and stitch right to the end. Sort your ends out. You don't want to see your lining. Okay. Okay, 2 lots of top stitching done. Alright. So if you want to put a handle in now, you need to do it now. I like to put a little maker's tag. Ta-da! So I'm just going to, what I do is just fold it in half and then I put it, well, it doesn't really matter front or back, wherever, but I'll just usually put it, actually I'll put it about here, I think. Let's put it down there out of the way. And they're quite, I'm just going to sort of top stitch that in place just inside the seam allowance. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word then. I'm trying to do my foot at the same time, which doesn't help. Yeah, you just need to stay stitch it so that when you stitch everything together, it's fine. Right, okay, so now cut your underneath thread. Put your 2 nice sides. I'm just going to lift you up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Right, there we are. So put your nice sides together, and what I tend to do is sort of pinch here and make the zip go into the lining. All right, so one important bit is to actually get, let's see if I can get this up close enough for you. I can't do it and let you see it at the same time, sorry. So pinch the zip inwards like that, okay, so that it goes to the lining. And then as best as possible, you need to get these 2 edges here lined up, because that really shows if you don't. So, right, I'll do that there, and then we'll put the clip on. Because I really want those to line up. Do the same the other end. It needs to go towards the lining. Oh, come on. It's because I can't do it that way. And hopefully we get those lined up once we're done. Doesn't always work. Mine don't always work. Don't sweat. It's just one of those things. Okay, you can pin the life out of it now if you want to. Now you've got to leave a turning place, and for goodness sake go in, I nearly forgot, and open your zip. Okay, get it right open as much as you can. I like to leave my turning bits on the side, on one of the sides. You can do it on the bottom, it doesn't really matter where. I just tend to go to a side edge. No idea why. And I don't usually pin. Should I pin? No, I'm not going to pin. I just hold it together, basically. So get over. Right. Yeah, backwards and forwards. So I'm going to leave this gap here. So I'm going to have a, where are we? Where's the corner there? About that. About a hand's width. Well, actually it's up here a bit, but anyway, leave yourself enough that you can get your hand in, because you need to turn it. So I'm just going to do forwards, backwards. Just going to take it slowly for a minute. I really want to get this bit here lined up. I don't even think you can see what I'm doing. Try and get you right down. Okay. Yeah, so this for me is vital. Really want to get those bits lined up there. Oh, that was the top. I was thinking, why is that doing that? It's the top stitching. Right. Okay, I've moved my zip down too far because I can feel that. Now, the important thing is when you're stitching this side seam, don't catch your little bar bit here, okay? Even if you've got to slightly make your seam wonky, don't catch that, because otherwise there was no point doing what we've just done. So, right, zip towards the lining, go in. You might need to help it through this because it's got to sew over quite a lumpy bit. Right, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've caught that right. Probably not because the camera's on. Why are you making such weird noises? I've been doing a load of stitching today. It might need cleaning out. I'll slow it down a bit. Can't say that slow. Needle down if you've got it for your corners, makes life a lot easier. Right, we're coming back up to the lining bit now, so it's another tricky bit, so I'm going to slow down, stop, readjust, I've no doubt. Try and make sure I'm not catching those little tabs that we've just put in. Just taking my time and kind of eking it around the corner. Like I say, it seems like a fuss, but it does make a really nice zip finish. Like I say, there's loads of people done this on YouTube, so go and check them out, see how they do it. You might find it a lot easier than mine. That tape was the game changer for me. Sorry, I know it's really noisy, but... Now, you can choose to box your corners if you wish. You probably should have done that before you start stitching, actually, but, you know, there it is. Okay, so, trim your corners if you want to. I tend to go in, across, and then out. In, across, out. Right, okay, let's see what we got. Like I say, please let me know if this is rubbish. I'll watch it, and if it is rubbish, I won't put it out there. I don't think that was explained very well, but yeah, so this is the importance of keeping your zip open. Okay, I'm not going to sew up my side seam at the moment because I want to put a lighter thread in the machine because it's all greens at the moment. So, right, let me, I've lost my big stick. Where's my stick? A chopstick, really handy for this kind of thing. So you've probably seen this a million times. Just poke your corners out. Let me lift you up a little bit because you're not seeing anything. Gosh, 40 minutes. It doesn't usually take that long. Right, now the beauty of these little tabs is normally when you push this bit out, you've got a weird bit where your zip is. But because we left that little tab, if I can get my fingers in there, right, let me just stuff the lining in, get it out of the way. Right, out of the way lining. So this is where I hope I haven't caught it. Should in theory have a hole here. Yeah, there it goes. Just fiddle around with it. To sort of get your finger under and then push up. There we are, that went up perfectly. Okay, so you should have a hole there technically. Alright, if you haven't caught your little tab in with the side seam. No, I didn't either one. Hurrah! Right. Drop it off there. Okay. Just checking to see if I got my sides lined up. Yeah, near enough. Not far off. Right, okay. So, yeah, normally you'd need to stitch your opening close, but like I said, I'm not going to do that because I want to put a lighter thread in. I don't want to sew it with green. It'll look awful. So, yeah, you just poke them out as normal. Right, so I just machine stitch the edges together like that. You can give it a quick press, but I just do a scant seam in there, and yeah, you don't see it so much when it's on the side, I don't think anyway. Yeah, and you just poke your lining back in, give it a press. I'm not going to, don't worry. But yeah, so you end up with this really neat, almost square topped bag. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? No, I think I completely spammed that all up. You'll have to tell me what you think. I'll pop it out there and see what you think. But yeah, you end up with really nice tops on your bag, basically. So it's easier when you haven't got a camera on, and that little tab usually goes a lot easier than that. If you've got a machine that doesn't eat, you know, just don't even worry about the sticky stuff. Just do the stitching. Just get it straight stitched onto the edge of the zip. But you just got to remember to have that edge of that tab thing well within your seam allowance. Okay, so if you have a 3/4 of an inch seam, make sure that is 3/4 of an inch away from the edge of your fabric, because that way, that's how you end up with these nice tops. That's it. Right, thanks very much. Tell me what you think of this video. It's probably an absolute car crash. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.